say something fucking interesting. You got that right. So the very interesting about using things, hallucinogens, if you want to say. Well, it's very interesting to use things like mushrooms or LSD or peyote or any kind of those things that supposedly expand your mind. Right? What a lot of people don't understand about it is that it's a school. And most people will be like, yeah, no, wait, you don't know what's happening. It's a school. Drugs are a school. And people that are like, they think they understand, but they don't understand because I say things like, that's why I don't eat mushrooms anymore. Because every time I go back to visit, they're like, what the fuck you're doing here? You're supposed to be already outside of this. It's like, I have a relationship with them, like, I have respect for them. Like, what they have taught me, the growth that I have been able to achieve through those kind of things, beautiful. But in physics, which is where I was going before we started this interruption, in physics, there is an impossibility of a machine which is the machine of permanent motion. You cannot create that because to keep something in motion requires some level of fuel, something that activates it. So it cannot be like by itself having permanent motion. So far, it has been impossible. Right? We try that because we think that will be an amazing source of power. Something that infinitely is always moving. But you cannot get that even from the waves itself. Because there are forces like gravity. Like everything has some outsider force that is helping them. Usually, some kind of fuel, right? But that's in physics, that's not in learning. There's a moment in learning that you should become self-sufficient, that the way that they teach you, because when you learn through ceremonies or when you learn through, if you use it for the party, there's almost no escape, you can use these kind of things and you can be partying and still you're going to get some level of lesson. If you can do it in an introspective way, where you are actually like in the right place and the right environment, feeling, mood even, to receive very good lessons about life, yeah, it's fucking wonderful, right? But there has to be a moment when you discover, where you were able to unearth that way of learning, which is because you are not being taught anything. You say to yourself, that's why it becomes like super clear. That's why it breaks through in so many people. That's why you feel the difference. Because you feel the knowledge coming from inside of you. It's like you are talking to yourself. You ask and suddenly you hear an answer that usually you will never expect. But you find it to be absolute truth because it's coming from the inside. You could receive the same fucking truth coming directly from God outside, and it wouldn't feel as true as it will come from inside you. That's why the idea of what's the name of the movie, Inception? The moment it begins that story that says like, oh, can you implant an original idea into someone's mind? The first guy say that's impossible, but the character represented by Leonardo DiCaprio in that moment say it can be possible, and I recognize that idea, which is how something has to grow inside of you for you to think that it's absolute truth. But you have to be able to acquire that power by yourself. So you can get into some level of introspection and you get that kind of answers. You have to be able to have them accessible all the time. If not, why the fuck are you going to school? I go to school to better my teachers. Anybody that I learn from, I gotta become better. I'm gonna learn everything there is to teach me. And once I have trained somebody's total knowledge, which is impossible, because knowledge, it cannot be stolen. That's the amazing part of it. That's why, I think it's this, I don't remember, maybe it's Turkey or something like that. Libraries, they leave their books outside during the night because people that read don't steal and people that steal don't read, like, wow. And it's true, they just leave their books outside. At least that's what the interview or whatever was talking about, right? But I believe it makes sense, like, yeah, people that read don't steal and people that steal don't read. in that way, in that way. You can have yes, amazing, huge criminals that have ended like a Harvard PhD thing. Of course, but not a book. Anybody that is intelligent has respect for books. That's the first part. I mean, there's many things that we like fucking assholes as humans, but people that acquire intelligence are like, oh shit, that's in the books? That's in a book. That's in a book? I can learn this shit without having to go through the years or decades of experience as the other person. Somebody wrote it and simplified it for me in like 400 pages. I can do that, And that's why, shit, I don't have my book right here to say. No, I'm gonna do this commercial no matter what. And that's why you can find available in manlaproject.com. Anyway, so if you are learning from these kind of masters, like they call them, some call them abuelitos, some call them abuelita, magic, medicinal, hallucinogenic, I don't know where you wanna categorize them. But nobody that has ever done anything similar is not gonna admit that there was learning. I did that shit and wow, there was something that I discovered through it. It will be very weird, someone that does or hallucinogens or similar things like that don't get into a moment when they're like, wow, they get some level of introspection that becomes very fucking interesting, and changes their life. Because again, it's coming the truth from inside. When it comes from inside, you're like, yeah, this has to be true, That's why a lot of people end up having terrible self-esteem because they end up copying the speech of other people and made it their own. Because that's the problem. The problem is making the speech of other people your own. Because one thing is true, like there's some things that no matter what I say to you, you will break very easily on your self-esteem. And there's other things that no matter what I say to you, you will not break anywhere at all in your self-esteem. Yes or no? Yeah, like for example, I can talk about your discipline, and you'll be like, what the fuck are you talking about, man? You understand the level of discipline I have in my life? You're like, fuck you. That will be impossible to move. You need what? You're welcome, my love. Where was I? You were not paying attention, Huh?
You were talking about me and my discipline.
Right, it will be impossible. There's parts of your self-esteem that are impossible to move on. There are others that yes, that you don't even like, dude, don't joke with that. But I can joke about your professionalism. I can joke about the kind of professional that you are. I can joke about your cooking skill. You'll be like, yeah, fuck you, man. Like, I'm the boss in all that, right? Correct. But there's some things that even I'm not going to mention it because I cannot joke with them. Like everybody has something like that, right? But if you really go to it and you really pay attention, it's impossible that you have any problem in your self-esteem because you don't arrive with them. The reason why you walk and the reason why you speak is exactly, the reason that shows your capability of failing and trying again until you succeed, no matter who's around and no matter what happens there. You're gonna learn it. I can fall 1,000 times in front of everybody. I'm just gonna keep doing it. This is, and then it's until you start listening to some people and you copy the idea. Like, oh, you're so stupid, and instead say, oh, I must be stupid, because someone important to you is telling it to you, someone that creates an impression, because the reality is that the reason why twin people have different personalities, even if they're identical twins, even if most of their life, everything they lived it at the same time, they have different personalities because you have a different perception. Each one of them has a different perception of what happened. And that's the difference between who you become. But sometimes we don't see it because the person tells us something that in that moment got us. And we allow that to become our own voice, and that's why we end up believing it. Because we confuse it with ourselves, because we think it sounds the same. The funny thing is, before when you and me were young, my love, which this is a very weird way to say it because it's true. There's no like we cannot say this and pretend we're young, okay? But before phones had cameras, and it was common to make videos and send voice messages, it was very hard to listen to yourself. You know, it will be for some people. It will take them years, lifetime to be like, "That's how my voice sounds," right? Now we all know, but we still associate that voice that doesn't really sound the same with ourselves just because it's inside our heads. Don't be stupid. Someone is listening, that somebody's talking. Take the part of the talking and say the thing that you should be hearing. Why you talk to yourself? How do you allow somebody to speak for you? For what you want? Like, dude, I really like that girl. I should go talk to her. No, you shouldn't. The fuck are you? What? Shut the fuck up. This is about me doing what I want. Right? Because that's what life is about. Life is exactly about getting what you want. Now, what you want is different for each person, but this is your fucking adventure, You're choosing what the fuck you're doing in this planet. That's the main reason why we become adults. It's supposedly some people, they just get kicked out of teenager by life, But the reality is the main reason why at some point we're like, no, I want to become an independent adult, is because I want to choose my own adventure. I want to choose what I do with life. Like, people look at me and they're like, fuck, you're, 6'3" in retarded units, but 1.9 in meters. They're like, oh, yeah, because you're tall. Yeah, I'm fucking tall. It's fucking awesome. Being tall is fucking awesome. It's fucking amazing. I'm not going to deny it. I'm not going to try to make them feel better. Fuck yeah. You come into a room, and if you are a confident, tall man, everybody fucking backs up. I enter to a room and I change the fucking dynamics as soon as I'm not even a bad person. You have seen me. I greet people lovely. I'm kind, I'm funny. I'm very diplomatic. I have a lot of charm when I talk to you. You have seen me, right? I mean, it's one of the top reasons you're with me. Yes or no? It's not. It cannot all just be this body, baby. And I'm good at what I do. But I say between the top 10, okay? I wasn't trying to compete for number 1. I know you are like dignitized. I get that, okay? But one of the top 10 reasons how I deal with people, my presence, is something. But you didn't get told what the fuck you're gonna do. If I have to count the people that I know, if I have to point the people that I know that are successful in my life, believe me, not all of them are tall. Most of them are not tall. If I want to talk about the guys that get the most girls in life that I know, they're not the most fucking built up, tall, successful guys. No, I have seen the most you see sometimes these super beauties of Hollywood. Who the fuck they're dating? And you're like, dude, that's her husband. And then you realize, when it comes about truth, about the man that has skills to talk with women, they do better in life. They fucking do better in life. Because you can't compete against guys that are taller, against guys that are fitter. You can compete about anything with anybody as being a man. And you can get whatever you want. There's no, when it comes about that for men, like, we can start whatever and look whatever, we're gonna fucking get it. Now, okay, I gotta admit that sadly, for women it's not the case, because if they're not as gorgeous as you are, life is not very easy, right? Yeah, women have a cap. If we want to speak the fucking truth in this world, men don't have a cap because we can get whatever we want, and it includes the most beautiful woman, no matter how the fuck we look. We learn how to be confident, we go for what we want, but the confidence is the important part. Because that's why you find in those kind of levels, young bitches that take the money of those guys just because they're more clever than them. They're more experienced in relationships than them. So they take all their money of the richest guy that took forever and didn't grow their skills? No. You know, you want the whole package. You gotta be confident. And that doesn't matter if you're tall or not. You know, most people don't allow that to happen. They put themselves, the voice of somebody else, because I have so many followers that tell me, like, dude, like, they don't tell me, they tell them, you know, the people complaining because of their height. Dude, I'm this short, and I still go very fucking well in life, man. Oh yeah, me too. I have a friend that is like this. I'm like, no. It has to be the men that are tall and they're white or they're like built up or whatever. Like fucking excuse, because he has money, you know. But you did that to me one time we were in fifth. I was looking at a couple, and you thought I was thinking that.
He must. Is what I said.
He must. What was the? He must?
Yeah, he must.
He must. That's the saying. What it means?
It means he must have something else that he's bringing to the table.
Right, because the guy wasn't not appealing at all, and his wife was a hottie, right?
Correct.
Right. This is very interesting, right? This is the first thought that came to your head. Now, that same thought usually will go for men. You know, men that want women like that, and they see that is not the enemy that they're having in their heads, you know, because they're expecting, oh, this guy should be strong, should be wealthy, probably has a big dick, whatever, to get that hottie, you know, and then you see a random guy. He was a random guy, you know, like but in video games they call that the default skin, you know, because that's the first they give you, you know, and then you gotta earn a better one. But it's true, and that's more common than not. I often see these hotties in the gym that's your boyfriend, you know, you like that. You know what? Because it's a guy that is trustable, that the guy is confident. Because a lot of guys think that, oh, it's bad guy and good guys don't get girls, right? They come, oh, because I was a good guy and girls abuse me. This is stupid. You can be good or you can be bad. But it's about being confident, bro. And so why a girl will want to be with you if you're not confident about yourself? That means you're not gonna get anything that you want from life. She already knows it's not about how you look. It's not if you're a good person or a bad person. I want to fucking go get her.
It's confidence, but it's also safety. Most women go about their entire lives not feeling safe.
Yeah.
So the confidence paired with creating an air of safety is what gets and keeps the girl.
Right. Safety is a major one, but safety takes like 2 seconds. You know. Now I can earn that and never lose it. But in the first 2 seconds, you gotta like, it's a strange world for women, I gotta admit that. But in the first seconds, you are like, I'm gonna trust this guy or not. He's just gonna keep, he just has to sustain it. But he's already taking me out, one-on-one. You know, he already came to talk to me, I already gave him my number. Like, oh, no, yeah, let's see how far this goes. But it's not such a hard one to pass the safety part. But the confident part, and you're right, you're absolutely right in what you said. Safety is super important. To feel that your man can take care of shit, you know? Like, that's why their favorite sentence is, I got it, you know? Yeah, I got it. Don't worry, I got it. And like, yeah, fuck, I want that from a man, for sure. And if a guy is not confident with you, he's not gonna be confident in life. And guys don't see that that's the real wall that they have to cross, because women have experience. I miss gorgeous women like yourself, my baby. Yeah. Yes. They already experience what it is to be with a man that, even if he's tall, strong, and has money, is insecure, and it's a horrible experience. You're like, this is not worth it. And maybe you gave it a little bit extra try because of the physical or economical benefits, but you're nope. This is not, I cannot, it's a fucking hell you don't want to go through again. An unconfident guy, no matter how he looks. Right? I mean, of course, you're fucking lucky because I'm confident I look like this. Okay, right? You gotta, yes, baby, your blessings. Life has been good with you, you know? You know what? You deserve it, baby. Okay? You deserve a guy like me. You deserve a guy like me. Okay? I got you. Yeah, I got you. Okay, very simple. You know how you have to behave, right? Yeah. Not like I'm a piece of meat, like a man with feelings, okay? Very important. Okay? I'm just a toy that you can use whenever you want. Wow. Like a feelings. I mean, yes. Wow. somehow. But you gotta look like that. Boom! So I will be very mindful of keeping that in shape, because this is an exchange. Huh?
Remember what you said to me about
It's gonna last for a while. Yeah, that's what we meant. It's just gonna. Yeah, it's gonna last for a while.
It would take a long time.
Yeah, it will take a long time. But anyway. So part of keeping your confidence, this is a very important part, is when you learn to eliminate or navigate your bad emotions, your bad moments. And that's a teaching that you're supposed to get from mushrooms or from hallucinogens, LSD, whatever, I suppose because it's also a lesson when you bad trip. A lot of people try to avoid it, but you know what? Having a bad trip is like the safest way to learn from danger. Because danger fucking teaches you, when you get in fucking danger, you're like, fuck, danger teaches you, I'm bad tripping. I mean, usually, like 8 hours, bro, you're gonna be out, While if you fuck up in life, it can be years or your lifetime even, somehow, so.
Yeah, we're talking about somebody who did that to herself.
Yeah, we're friend. Well, your friend, Sarah.
Oh,
But she wasn't my friend. I mean, it's an acquaintance. If he's a good person, and yes, when she was still good looking.
What do you mean now?
What? No, don't do that. Don't do that. Okay, don't be that kind of woman that all women are beautiful, because then you're gonna be losing points. Not all women are beautiful. No, I don't want that kind of weird morale in my house. If we have to be able to. We agreed the other day that they were ugly babies, so you cannot do that of thinking all women are beautiful. Okay?
But even if they're ugly babies, to their parents, they are still good looking. That's
To their parents, sure, whatever. But why for you, every
women?
women will look beautiful? There are women
Why?
that are getting ugly. It fucking happens. You don't take care of yourself. She was beautiful when she was young, but she didn't take care of herself, right? You can see that was a problem she created. Right? It's not like, oh my god, it's even worse to call a baby ugly in comparison. Because you cannot do shit about it. But she was a gorgeous woman that, was able to get this to that kid. Well, you know what? It's actually not. I mean, it's not nice to say, but it's also not a lie. So, I am under the influence of, thanks to my sponsor, under that influence, you gotta admit, I'm gonna be a little bit more honest. Anyway, but that's the truth. She got to be ugly. She can be okay looking, but God, you went with her to the beach. Let's not do that. That's a horrible thing because it makes women unaccountable. Oh, you didn't take care of yourself and you still want people to see you beautiful? That's a fucking lie. You're lying to people when you're like, because your clothes don't fit as they used to fit you because you never did exercise. Your face look older than it should because you never took care of your skin. Everything needs to be maintained. Even we were just making fun about it in the morning about the tattoos. That I told you I don't want to get any more new tattoos except for maybe the bear that we can discuss many times. But maybe if I get another kid, yeah, maybe I'm gonna fuck. If I get Jira, you know what I'm gonna get. But this needs maintenance, everything needs maintenance. Even tattoos end up looking old if you don't take care of them. And that's why I take care of some of my tattoos because shit, this is a piece of art, it should be preserved. Even art needs to be preserved. Why being so fucking arrogant just because she's beautiful and she's even if she's 60 and never took care of herself, she's beautiful. You're a mad man no, we're bad to society by enabling them to make him feel because of that they have the problems in relationships that they have. Because everybody makes them believe.
Yeah, my point was more just there are lens for what is beautiful is not everybody else's, and so objectively there still is beauty. So I'm not discounting anything that you said. I'm just saying in general.
Yes, of course. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder. Of course,
And
of
also,
course.
people become more pretty when you love them.
And people become more pretty when you love. Of course, of course, of course, of course. Wait, you're saying you're not as pretty as I think I am? You are?
Say again?
Are you saying you're not as pretty as I think you are?
You literally said that to me. You can go back in our text messages.
What?
You said that too.
What I said?
You were commenting about, I'm not the most beautiful woman that you've been with, but objectively, but I am to you. Was your words?
Yeah, so I'm saying that what you're saying is you're not as good looking as I think you are. It's a cute way of saying that I love you, baby. If you're saying people become more beautiful when you love them, and I say, why do I have to explain? You're like explaining a joke. Be faster, not because you're high you can be this slow, okay? I'm trying to be sweet in a like bad guy kind of way, little suave. What? Well, I have to do it. I have all the tattoos. I have to go with the character, I mean, there has to be coherence, That's what the audience expects. Yeah. Anyway, where were we? Anyway, so everything needs to be maintained, and we tell women all the time that they're beautiful no matter fucking what. And they get bad relationships because of that. They get bad relationships because of that. Because they think they deserve something way more than what they're actually fucking getting tons of evidence that they don't. Because to be like, you see it. This is the conversation we've been having in the last days. The lack of accountability doesn't allow people to improve. You don't become accountable, you don't become successful. That's it. It's like direct math, You don't become responsible in anything. In your health, in your finances, in your self-esteem, in your image, whatever.
In your career?
Huh?
Your career?
Of course your career, starting there, So the more accountable you become, the better you do in life. You're accountable about the way that you look, you're accountable about the way that you feel, the nutrients that you take, the flexibility that you must have, all those things that become important. It's being accountable in as many as you can that gives you a successful life. You don't have to be the most successful person in the planet because maybe, some things matter more. But success is important and a level that allows you to have a life where you are not worried. You gotta achieve that. I'm not worried that I'm gonna be sick. It might happen, but I'm not worried I'm gonna get sick because I eat healthy and I exercise regularly, right? So that gives me peace. I'm not worried that the world is gonna roll over me because I keep myself updated. What is happening in the world? What is happening in my business? So I'm accountable about what's happening in my life. That doesn't have as much swear as you wish. But it's okay.
I'm gonna have to go get more.
No, please, you have it all. I will give all up to my last drop of water in the version of saliva to you, baby.
I know you do.
With great pleasure, let me tell you, I got you. I got you, baby, okay? Got your back, Jack? Okay. Anyway. So that's why things like the campaign of, I think it was H&M, maybe, probably all of them did it, with these plus size models. Like, oh my god, like she made that face. Do you think she's such a saint? She looks like a ninja, but she thinks like me, so you can take your guesses from there. Anyway. I don't think there's many women nowadays as comparison as they were. I'm pretty sure that in this point, like if anybody has been against me until now, my way of thinking, I hope we can come to terms with this, but it's true that nowadays, maybe it also happened with men, I know that argument is going to exist, but nowadays, you don't get as many values as before that your grandma will give to your mom or what your great grandmother will give to your grandmother. This generational knowledge that we're passing by that included how to be a good wife, how to be a good partner, how to be a companion. It's not only scars, but it also has been satanized, because if you say that, you're against feminism. If you're against feminism, you should be kicked out of society, you know. But what the fuck you're talking about? You know, that doesn't make sense, because we're still expecting men to be men. You know why they cannot expect women to be women? You know, there's no woman that is like, I don't expect men to behave like men. No. You need a motherfucker? Yes. You want him to be there? Yes. You want to feel safe next to him? Yes. You want him to be a good provider? Yes. What do you think he expects? You know, like, what a serious fuck. Oh, because I give him coochie? Girl, like, for what he's paying, he could get someone that looks better, does it better, and is a better listener. Fuck. You know, not you, obviously. But it's a very weird fact that prostitutes admit, it's a very weird fact that prostitutes admit that a lot of their clientele, they just want to be listened. They don't even dare to fuck. That's an important thing that we should look into society. The word of prostitutes, for me, has a lot of resonance because... I was going to say someone's mom that that I don't like, but I'm going to leave it like that, you know, because a woman of that kind of business is telling me that their clientele mostly care about being listened, that we fuck their brains out. It tells you something weird about society, you know, which is men. They expect to be men. They're expected to be men, but we cannot expect anything from women because it's wrong, because you're a bad person. No, she should just her presence and her coochie. And I'm not you, obviously. I mean, not that those two things are not pretty fucking good, you know. Your exceptional doing that part of the work, yes, but I mean, the least to be here, baby. I mean, you got it. You got it. But it's like yay big, okay? And it's not just coochie and looks, you know, but what do you expect from me? I expect this guy to be a man. You know, fucking step up. It's time to kick ass, he will kick some ass. He will do that in life, in politics, in business, you know, in anything. If it's time for sex, you know, this guy will kick ass, you know, like.
What percentage of women would you say from your own relationships were good listeners?
Good listeners? Wow.
Or were capable of holding space for you?
Yeah, that is a better question, because good listeners, yeah, like when I have these kind of talks, you know, and they something they appreciate is my knowledge and my stories or whatever. I'm a great storyteller, you know, so of course they listen. It's up to me for that level of attention. But holding space, that's another better question, because when I come with a problem about us, that's what you're asking. What percentage? I don't know if the percentage changes by including you or not including you.
You don't know if it changes?
I don't know if it changes. You go from 100 to 0, something like that.
Okay, what percentage before me?
0 women were good listeners.
And since me?
And well, since you're the only woman in my heart and mind, I think you're 100% right now, you know? Everything else never mattered until you arrived to my life. No, but
because the percentage, because
it will be fucking smaller as you put .0001. Yes, that's the amount of women I have had, I admit it, okay? But you want a man with experience, you don't want a fucking asshole that doesn't know what he's doing, you know?
I take you for who you are, and I wouldn't want anybody other than you.
Impossible! What will suit you?
Well, not to mention the fact that you wouldn't be you if you hadn't had
all those
experiences.
Experiences, yes, the 10,000 hours at least.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. Well, anyway. So all this comes to that part where you're able to start listening to your thoughts. You try to find the honest ones now, because that voice that tells you what the fuck is wrong with you, you know, like when you're like, oh my god, why I have so much distrust with men, and then it's like, well, remember when you were 4 and your grandfather did this? Yeah. Since then, no way. You know, boom, that's it. You know, you're like,
So
yeah.
that, when we talked about my journey thing, that was the part that was hard for me to explain to you, because I mean that's what I do every day. Like when I do my clearing every morning when I meditate, and I like check in on my balancing my chakras and checking my aura and all that sort of stuff. Like, if something's past or present, I check in if it's past or present, if it's related, if it's mine, if it's somebody else's, and then if it's past, what age was it? So then I find the thing, the time, and then clear the thing. So then that was why when you were like, hey, you don't have specific examples of these things in your journey, I was always like, yeah, because that's what I already do. So you know, like I do that already. So then my journey was different because of that. It was my everyday experience.
Okay, I'm gonna have to change looks just to be able to respond to that. Regardless of your everyday help that you so beautiful do for all the beings that matter in your life, right? You could do that without being accountable as you are, which makes you the big difference between most women in the world, the huge majority, which includes in the way you listen. That's why your question can be answered, because I'm telling this woman will listen to what I have to say no matter what. Fucking awesome, amazing, you know, like whatever is a story that is a funny one, an adventurous one, or I'm talking about something deep or meaningful, whatever. I'm great at telling a story. I can make it funny and interesting and highs and ups and everything. It's fucking amazing. But when it comes the moment about listening, my feelings towards you, right? If they are negative or they are positive, it still requires that inside of you, you understand how to process them. Because I can give you some very good thoughts or feelings or adjectives, even if you want. And you might take them wrong if you will be a sick enough person, which that happens. You know, that people can be so sick that even if they're trying their best to be beautiful in life, but from their love partner, and something very small can create a big problem that wasn't even there. It shouldn't have been that big, you know. But some people, they have been so scarred in life that now they get triggered very easily because they think it's outside the solution to their peace and to their good self-esteem.
Yeah, I guess I was just trying to point out that, you know, you came to this ability through your experiences with psychedelics,
Right.
obviously. And I was saying it's just like I did this work through meditation for 20-something years, and then only recently tried the psychedelic approach. But like the same solution, like the same awareness and accountability, and you know, what have you, is just like those skills are still.
Baby, I love you and everything, and I think you're amazing, and you're the most intelligent woman in the world. I totally believe that. But, okay, we have been having to put work into your accountability. Okay? Yes or no?
Yeah.
Have we had put work into that? Well, what I'm talking about this, huh?
Please continue.
No?
Please continue.
Okay. So, it's what I say, you know, like constantly I get into scenarios when I'm trying to tell people things and they tell me like, yeah, I do that too, like, yeah, but you don't. You know? And I don't like those kind of situations because I feel the resistance, you know, like, you know, no, you're not listening to me. I'm not talking about you. I'm not talking about you. It's like when I have my mentorships, you know, like you saw that one in the morning. I have fucking experience one in the morning for you. People that want to tell me that they're good, when I'm listening, they're not. And then try to help. You're fucking hiring me to help you. Of course. They can take that from me because they know that's my fucking personality, you know. I'm gonna make them accountable. But people that always they wanna convince me that they do things that they don't. When, no, this is what we're trying to work on. We're trying to work to better that thing, to solve this problem. Don't defend it. You know, it's impossible to start there if you think you're already doing it. But the guy behaved very humble. He says, let's go. That's what I want. For me, someone is coachable when they can say that the guy like, yeah, no, I understand. Yeah, not a good sales. Well, I call him bad sales. But anyway, what I was saying with this is that that's why I started telling you that for me it's better to be not so high than to be very high, because also like there's no more lessons that I want to visit. There's no lesson in the struggling of keeping my head together. Like I think one amazing lesson that you get when you get a bad trip is that you can go through it. You can go through it. You fucking kept your sanity. You didn't fuck it up. You didn't do anything stupid. You worked through it. You were able to go through a bad trip. You may feel like very nervous and may feel fucking scary. And 6 fucking 8 hours that feels like days. But you go through it. Like, wow. You feel stronger. You feel you can face more things, and definitely you face stress in future life like way easier. After experiencing bad tripping, you're like, shit, if I could go through that, I could go through anything. That shit's scary. There's some bad trips that I thought they were just like portraying it in the movies, because I had bad trip and it's not like that. But no, I was one of those. I had this, thanks to my sponsors, I had this trip, but it wasn't a real one, because with lysergic acid you cannot. Lysergic acid? There's a word that I'm missing. Lysergic acid. I'm missing one word.
No.
Anyway.
Lysergic acid is LSD.
No, you're missing the D, because lysergic acid can be LSA that can come from a seed that if you ingest enough, it's the same as an LSD trip. LSD is already like a composition.
What is the chemical structure of LSD, lysergic acid?
The D gas stands for something that is gonna have like 2 molecules or something.
Diethyl.
There you go.
Lysergic acid diethylamine.
There you go. See? It's weird how much I have studied drugs. That's a weird thing. That's a very weird thing. Anyway, so it was like a fake one, like a synthetic version of the synthetic version. So you wouldn't really be tripping. You will just have a bad trip. You will feel like it's too much. And usually, well, as a junkie, you're like, oh, it was just too much. I couldn't handle it. But then they started recognizing a pattern that everybody that was going through that, like, took them a while, because then they realized it was a fake one, and that it was actually deadly. Like 5 doses, and you will be like out. But with LSD, they can dump a barrel for you on your fucking. You can sink yourself in a tree, and it's gonna go horribly bad for what will feel like ages, but you don't die. You're not gonna die.
It's not actually toxic.
Huh?
Yeah, on the toxic scale of drugs,
Yeah.
LSD is like not toxic.
Yeah, same as THC, for example. You can try to smoke yourself away, and it's impossible. You can be in a room that everything that is burning is the highest quality THC, and still you're gonna just fall asleep and come back to life in a few while.
And like alcohol or something like that.
Alcohol is like 8.
It has
Eight.
the acetaldehyde is problematic.
Yeah, no. I mean, few drugs are as strong as alcohol, to the point that if you stop using it, you die.
Right.
Like, that's a very fucking strong drug.
Right.
Like, few drugs are like that, and it's strange how much we have like this nice perspective, or like we even make it like glamorous, to drink this.
Part of our culture and celebrations and all that stuff.
Very weird, right? Very weird. If this can kill you, it's the number 1 death between young people, right? Anyway, so I don't detour anymore, and I finish this topic. It's exactly that you have to understand the way you think, so you clean your thoughts and you can listen and to the same knowledge that you already have inside. Because the knowledge that it gives you is not like a formula, a super mathematical formula, like impossible to comprehend. It's your own words. You are talking to yourself. You're telling this problem that you have in your life is because of this. You are not doing this, you know. You're blaming everybody and whatever, you know. Like I remember, one of the realizations that I had like that, it was about being touched. You know, for so long I wouldn't allow anybody to touch me, even if I would have already girlfriends. You know, they will touch me, but I will still feel resistant inside. Like, I will be more into touching and giving, and that was because my father told me when I was a kid to don't let anybody touch me ever. But he didn't say that you don't want to. You know, that part was fucking important. You know, in ways that you wouldn't like them to. Okay, that's different. You know, that would have been very fucking helpful. But it didn't happen, right? So, but when I came into that conclusion, that dude, what are you talking about? So I was sorry when I asked myself in one of those moments, like, hey, why you don't like being touched? Because I was told that I shouldn't be touched. Yeah, but by somebody, like, it sounded so ridiculous. Yeah, but by somebody you don't want them to touch you that way. That makes sense. You know, you know, like boom, and it gets healed. That's an example. That's an example of the way that people think when they are under the influence of these kind of components, you know, chemicals. Because even psilocybin is a chemical. You know, all these things that you can take to feel. Some people get this level of perspective also through smoking ganja. You know, it's also there. That's why I love it. You know, it has this way, but it has to come to the point that you can be self-sufficient in that way of thinking. Mr. Gold? You should have told me. It's like one button away. Like, look, one button, and boom. You know, problem is fixed. That's what we men have done for this world where our beautiful women live. You know, baby, you need something? Push that button. We created the technology, the commodities, the vehicles. So if you need something, baby, push that button. You know, that's simple. Hey, we did it. Almost everything. How many things do you need really to do? You know, in life, away from pushing a button. Isn't it interesting now? Like, okay. If you want, you can come downstairs and get it. That's as much work, but most things you can just push a button, you know?
It's true, but I think my cooking is probably better.
No, your cooking is uncanny. Like, that shit should be, like, preserved by the UNESCO, you know? Like, you know, it should be protected as shit, you know?
But that's not one button.
Huh?
But that one's not one button.
That one is not one button. No, but everything that you need for cooking can be solved with one button.
Order it and have it delivered? Absolutely.
Absolutely. And paying for the gas and paying for the electricity and making the money, you know, everything is pressing buttons. Making the money to pay for them, you know, everything is pressing buttons. At least for you and me. You know, I press a button and boom, there's content, you know, in our conversations that we have all the time. We have this level of conversations all the time. Right? I don't know how long this has been going, but I'm gonna cut it down.